Okay, go ahead whenever you're ready.
Okay, thanks. Hi, my name is Monica Burns. I'm nobody famous. You may know me and you may not know me. All I know is that I want to take this time to give some of my thoughts to the people that are willing to listen. What has our country come to? Have you ever sat and thought about that? What's happened to our country? I can remember back in the day when the economy was booming. Almost everybody had a job. There was welfare, but there were very few that were on it. I don't know what happened. It's like somebody flipped a switch and everything just went downhill. Our legislatures are working on their own agendas, and that's what is good for us, the American people. We need people in office that are real people in touch, that know exactly what's going on. This is real important. We need to replace the politicians with real people that struggle. Most of them have no idea what it means to struggle from paycheck to paycheck. They are just in it for what they can get out of it. This needs to stop. We, the people, need to stand up and make it stop. We need term limits. When the legislation was set up, it was not set up for these people to make a career of it. My goodness, we had one legislature that was over 90. How many meetings do you actually think he was able to attend? It didn't matter. He was still able to draw that income, and that income comes from our tax money. Is that really fair? We need campaign reform. You know, what we really need to do is limit what they can raise. If we put a ceiling of like about $2 million on what they can raise, then they wouldn't be able to spend so much on all these nasty ads, and they would have to actually find ways to get to the people, get to their constituents, talk to the people, see what their wants and needs are, instead of counting on the big special interest groups to pay for their campaigns. We need to do away with super PACs. Without the super PACs, this would be another reason for them to get to the constituents and plead their case. Listen to the constituents. After all, they're supposed to be working for us, the American people, not themselves. And what good are lobbyists? Shouldn't we abolish lobbyists? All they do is give money to these politicians to get what they want so that they can make more money. It's not about the American people. It's all about the big business. That's not right. That is not how our country was founded. Our country was founded so that the American people could have a fair shake and have a land of opportunity. That doesn't exist so much anymore. They need to spend more time connecting with their constituents instead of making a six-figure income and spending their time campaigning and raising money while they're getting paid to do a job. I saw a thing on 60 Minutes that talked about they go and they are on the floor doing their job for so many hours a day, and that each party tells them they have to go make phone calls and raise money for so many hours every day. Is that right? Should we pay them to raise money for the campaign? I don't think so. I ran for offices before. I wasn't allowed to raise money on my job, on my time. It's just not right. They need to have to pay into Social Security and a retirement plan just like all the rest of us, instead of being able to draw that big paycheck once they leave office. That too isn't right. We, the American people, need to stand up and be counted. We need to speak up and stick together on this. Do we really need the electoral votes and delegates to decide who our candidates will be and who our president will be? I think it all should be all popular votes. I can remember one presidential campaign where one candidate won the popular vote, but the other candidate won because of the electoral. who's the electoral? Is that the people? I don't think so. It's the colleges, the big money. Once again, the little people don't have much of a fighting chance. There should be one primary day a year. Why do they need all these different primaries in all these different states? We have one general election day. Why not one primary day? To me, I think that would save and conserve a lot of money, and it's something that I think that they should look into. We need to revisit the tariff. You know, back when that law was first implemented, it seemed like a good idea. The intent was not for our businesses to go out and take our jobs and take them someplace else so that they could have cheaper labor and then bring the products back into our country and expecting the American people to buy them. I think what we should do is we should put a hefty fine on the corporations that do move our jobs out into other countries for lower pay, and then turn around, charge them a big tariff and a big fine on the products that they bring back in order for us to buy. And maybe then they would realize that it wouldn't be so cost effective to move their jobs out and bring them back and put our American people back to work. If they can't do their job, why do we pay them? If there's not enough tax money coming in to run all aspects of the government, dock their pay until they can come up with decent paying jobs and put laws in place to find big corporations from moving their businesses out of the country and increase their bottom line. Then fine them again when they bring their products back for us to buy. I've said that once, and it's very important that you people listen to what I'm saying. This is exactly what's happening, and that's where our jobs are going. They need to do their jobs and get them back. Don't let them vote to give themselves a raise. What's up with that? That should be left up to the American people. If we think they deserve a raise, let us decide. And if their session isn't a bit productive, then maybe they shouldn't get paid. If I don't go to work, and most people, if they don't go to work, they don't get a paycheck. But we have a lot of legislatures that don't even go to work, except maybe one day, maybe two, and they are off more than they're on, and they're still drawing that six-figure income. I want a job like that. They need to keep their hands out of the Social Security and the Medicare funds. The American people pay into those funds when they're working to give them something to supplement their income when they retire. It wasn't set up to be a slush fund for them. Do you realize that the last time that they voted themselves a raise, they took the money out of our Social Security in order to pay for that? They said they borrowed that money for their pay raise. But you know what? As far as I know, they never paid that back. You try to borrow money somewhere in a bank or someplace and not pay it back. What kind of repercussions do we have? Think about it. And maybe we do need to look at the welfare system and tweak it, not do away with it completely. But the way the system is set up now, if a person is on assistance and they go to work, they cut them off completely. Why not try to help those people that are trying to help themselves? Because right now, the livable paying jobs are very far and in between. They can't make enough to take care of their families, so that's why they stay on assistance. They can't afford to go to work. We need to fix that. They need to fix that. Bringing jobs back in, getting our wages up to decent wage, that's part of it. This is things that we really need. There are so many things that need to be changed. We need to let them know that we are really upset and we want them to do something different. There are so many things, more things I could go on and on and on of tell you what's wrong. And of course there's going to be a lot of haters out there that are going to say, she doesn't know what she's talking about. You raise the minimum wage, you're going to put people out of business. Now, in my mind, if people are making a livable wage, they're going to have disposable income. If they have disposable income, they're going to spend. That means they're going to buy. And if they're going to buy, then there's going to have to be more production of product. I mean, it's simple. Government should be simple. They've made government so complicated that, you know, it's just not right. Part of me thinks maybe the libertarians have kind of a good idea. They talk about smaller government. Well, you can have better government, simpler government, not necessarily smaller. You could still have government the way you want it, but simplify it. Don't make it so complicated. When you pass a law or you pass a bill, make it for one thing. Why on earth do they have to keep tacking on so much stupid stuff? That's what happened with, NAFTA. They had to accept the good or the bad in order to get some of the good. But it's gotten out of hand. It really has gotten out of hand. We need to start putting our country first, our people first. This is real important if we want to survive. I have grandkids. I have grandkids old enough to give me great-grandkids. What is their future going to be? What are we as the American people going to do to try to make that better for future generations? I challenge you to join me to set up an American Revolution protest on the Capitol lawn in Washington, D.C. Of course, this needs to be done during session, and we don't have much time. If you agree to let it be known, and we start the process to organize this event, share this message with as many people as you can. Together we can take our country back. You can contact me on Facebook. My name's Monica Burns. Look me up. Send me a private message with your contact information, what you're willing to do to help. Share it with everybody you know. If we get enough people interested, it's going to take a lot. I can remember back in the day, the sit-ins that were around the fountain in the 70s, 60s and 70s during the Vietnamese War. Oh my gosh, the crowds were enormous. Maybe this is what we need. We need to show them that we're ready to take our country back. And if they're not willing to do their job, we're willing to get rid of them. I don't care if you're Democrat or Republican. It doesn't matter. We're all Americans. This is the same for all of us. This is something that we need to do. If we want our country to be great again, we don't need some of the candidates that they're pushing down our throats. And they're making such a big deal about the presidential race. But I'm telling you, the races that you need to watch are the legislatures. Since we don't have term limits in place, I suggest that if there is one that you know of that's an incumbent and he's got someone running against him, vote for the other guy. Doesn't matter, Democrat, Republican. People need to quit living behind that label. They need to quit voting party lines. They need to vote for what's better for the country. They need to become better informed. Come on, people, stand with me. Let me know you're with me. Until the next time, Monica Burns, signing off.